Oh, hello there. Today we're going to work on an amazing 2-carat yellow gold diamond ring, and here we have 3D printed designs that we are going to then load into this investment casting, and we're going to burn it out in the oven. Then using this casting machine, we're going to melt all that gold and force it into the cavity left from the burnout process. As you can see here, we are looking at the molten gold that is all ready to cast. Once we get to the exact temperature that we want for this exact alloy of gold, we'll then take the flask from the oven, put it into the machine, and cast it. But it has to be the exact temperature because every different alloy of gold requires a different melting temperature so that you don't burn the metal, or so that it's fully molten enough so that it'll cast perfectly. Okay, so here we go. So the gold is molten, and we turn this, and it pours. And the cool thing about this machine is then it actually injects argon gas into that chamber to force the gold into every little teeny tiny crevice so that we get a complete casting. Then we'll pull the flask out and we'll dunk it in some water, and then we'll break up all the little bit of investment. Investment just refers to the plaster that surrounds the mold. So here you go. Here's that beautiful 2-carat diamond that we are going to then set into this ring after we get it all polished and ready to set. So here's that rough casting we pulled out of the water, and as you can see, it has a lot of rough surfaces that we're going to need to polish and smooth out before we can set that diamond in. But overall, it's ready to go. Oh, hello there. So here I'm looking under the microscope so I can see exactly what I'm doing. And as you can see, I'm going to slowly remove metal off of these prongs. And the reason I'm doing this is because I want the diamond to sit perfectly right between these prongs so that all I have to do is just barely move them to really tighten that stone into the prongs. The easiest and safest way to do this is by using what's called a ball burr. It's just a small little round burr that cuts away metal very slowly. And so now we have that diamond, and we're going to do our first test fit. So we still have quite a bit of metal to remove, so I actually switched over to what's called a heart burr, and this one is shaped a little bit sharper on the edges, but it removes metal a lot quicker. With a lot of practice and a lot of patience, you can really cut the shape of the prongs perfectly so that the stone can sit in there nicely. Sometimes you have to use a little bit of pressure and a little force to get the fit just right. But the nice thing about diamonds is they're very, very hard and very tough. So even though we're putting a lot of pressure on the stone, they can take it. Setting large stones like this, even though it seems relatively simple, can actually take quite a bit of work getting all the fits just perfect. And as you can see here, we're using a pair of jeweler's pliers to then move the prongs and tighten them up around the stone. Sometimes you have to backtrack a little bit in order to get the perfect fit, because what we want is for that stone to sit level and straight inside the prongs. We want everything to be just perfect. So once that stone is perfectly set, we're going to remove some excess material and get those prongs cleaned up so they have a nice shine to them. Sometimes if the prongs aren't exactly tight, we will use this little pneumatic hammer and punch, and we'll actually come down and mold some of that metal more on top of the stone so that it sits even tighter. This is just to make sure that that stone is never going to come out of there, ever. So here you see we're leveling out the top of those prongs, we're filing them down, and then we're going to even out the insides and make everything nice and symmetrical. Here we're using a rubber wheel, and it has rubber and abrasives combined in it so that we can slowly remove some of that metal away from the prongs. So here's that final ring, all polished and cleaned up and ready to send to the client. Something actually interesting about this ring is the client brought us their original wedding ring, which was the same exact design, but it was just a very cheap version of it with a cubic zirconia. So they asked us to remake it in 18 karat yellow gold with a real diamond. And this is what we did. So the ring on the right is the original ring that the client gave us to recreate, and the ring on the left is the one that we remade with the 2 karat diamond. As you can see, there's some pretty big differences. We beefed up the ring, cleaned it up a lot nicer, and then also just the sparkle on that diamond is a lot better than the cubic zirconia. The problem with cubic zirconias is they're such a soft stone that the facets tend to chip over time, and then the stone looks dull and faded, whereas diamonds are very, very durable and tough. And where they can chip, it takes a lot more effort to do so, so they hold their luster and shine for years to come. Thanks for joining us as we made this wedding ring. Hope you enjoyed the process. Bye.